morning, folks. Welcome to Stuttgart, Germany. We are in the Boeing 737 on our way to Frankfurt today. The last several flights it's been raining out. First officer's done the walk around. Of course, in the real world, that duty is alternated. And here now that we have a nice sunny day, I decided I would do the walk around. We're in a smartwings.com aircraft. I don't know if that's a real-life aircraft or real-life livery or not. I don't know what it is. I don't know where in the world they operate. But we're in Frankfurt. I've never been here before. I would like to know. And we're going to come, even though the livery is Smartwings, we are a Lufthansa flight. Dispatch office is Lufthansa. All our paperwork is Lufthansa. Our call sign is Lufthansa. Outside of the place is Smartwings. It is a beautiful aircraft. Especially here in the early morning hours. Cold and dark. Our first officer, Christy, is already aboard. Let's go aboard. Good morning, Christy. There she is. Aloof. A little aloof, but very professional. We have electrical powers, ground power, shore power, so we'll use it. Battery on. Ground power on. Position light to steady. Fuel pump's off for right now. Cross feed is off. Displays are on auto and normal. Navigation, auto and normal. Yaw damper can stay off until the APU is started. Let's test the indicator for the leading edge flaps and slats. That seems fine. Our emergency locator transmitter is armed. We can fire up the IRS system, the left system, align, and then nav. Right system, align, and then nav. We can spin the lower portion of this dial, and it will tell us that we have 8 minutes in the alignment cycle. Turn on the dome light up here, make it a bit brighter. Our number 3 service interphone is off, that's fine. Crew oxygen is fine. Passenger oxygen signs are normal and armed. Don't want to flip that switch, or all the oxygen masks in the cabin area will deploy and the flight will suddenly come to an end. Number 3 radio is on the public address system on the microphone, that's fine. I'm going to turn on the speaker for the NAV1 radio and the marker beacon. Flight recorder. Having a hard time reaching that little switch there. Can I? There it goes. Okay, flight recorder is in the normal position. We can do a stall warning test. Actually, that one's not quite ready yet. We'll do a Mach airspeed test. There they go. That's normal. I will wait and come back and do a stall warning test in just a bit. We are on battery right now. I'm sorry, we're not on battery right now. We're on shore power right now. But the battery is showing 29 volts, 0 amps, and 115 volts on the AC power. I don't want to turn on the wipers. 10 button is fine. Equipment cooling is in the normal position. Panel lights are turned up. I'm going to turn on the windscreen heat. I'm going to hold off on the pitot static probe heat until we're away from the gate. Those sensors can get hot, and we don't want to take a chance on injuring personnel outside the aircraft. Same reason I'm going to hold off on actuating the hydraulics. Moving surfaces can injure folks outside, so we'll wait until we're pulled away from the gate to actuate the hydraulics. We'll do a cockpit voice recorder test, although that's not model. Altitude horn cutout. Our landing altitude in Frankfurt is 347 feet, so 350 is as close as we can get. Our flight today takes us to an altitude of 22,000 feet, so that's fine. Our pressurization system is in the automatic mode. We do not have dual bleed on. Our isolation valve is open. Our packs are off. Cabin temperature controls are in the neutral or auto position. We don't have the APU on, so they're not effective until that happens. But we do have air conditioning being pumped into the cabin from the shore, from the jet bridge. So we're comfortable. And the overhead looks good for right now. Let's go down to our flight management computer. We are in a Boeing 737 model 800 Whiskey. Our engines are rated at 26,000 pounds of thrust. We have a current AIRAC cycle. Let's go to the second page. That looks good. Position initialization. Our reference airport is Echo Delta Delta Sierra, Stuttgart, Germany. We are at gate number 11. This is the last position of the aircraft. This is the reference location on the airport. Go to the next page. We have 2 installed GPS units. They both match. The locations they're giving both match, which means that they're both working. Self-checking against each other. So I moved one of those coordinates down into the scratch pad. We'll go back to the previous page and we'll set it. And you can see from the last position that the aircraft has not been moved since its last position. It hasn't been taken off the jet gate or moved into a hangar. Our routing today take us from Stuttgart to Frankfurt. We are Lufthansa flight number 43. We do have a company route. The route that the company license to fly is already loaded in the database. Plug that in, activate, and before we execute, I'm going to look at it because I gave the route to the aircraft control program, and the aircraft control program looked kind of funky, so I don't like funky. Come up here. Actually, I can't really do that yet because our IRS is not aligned. we'll hold off on this for right now. Let's go to our... well, actually, I'm going to execute it. Nope, we can edit it later. Performance initialization. We can get our zero fuel weight and our zero fuel center of gravity over the data link. There they are. Cruise is at 220. I'm going to put in here 190. I don't actually think we're going to get to cruise altitude before it's time to descend. It's such a short flight. Oops, didn't mean to do that, sorry. Our top-up climb winds are flight level 220, 290 at 25. The ISO deviation is positive 8 degrees. 290 at 25. And our ISO deviation, did I say 8 degrees? I forgot so quickly. 8 degrees, that's correct. Transition altitude in Germany is 5,000 feet. We have a reserve of 2.2. And our cost index is 85. We'll execute that. Unable cruise altitude. Yeah, I thought that might happen. We're not going to worry about it. I bet we may not make 220, but we'll make 190. Nice long runways here, so we're going to derate our engines. What's the outside temperature? Outside temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Derated takeoff. Climb 2 on the profile. Flaps 10. There's our center of gravity. Trim at 4.0. I'm going to spin our trim wheel. If I don't get this accurate, my first officer will bust my chops. She is so demanding. Gotta be really close. That looks like 4.0. Let's verify these V speeds. V1 at 115, V2 at VR at 115, and V2 at 125. And I want to take that 125 and move it into the MCP. 125 on the speed. Again, another thing my first officer is extremely picky about. Runway heading. I don't know our runway yet. It's either 7 or 25. Altitude is fine. Again, we probably won't make it. Flight director's on. And we're doing pretty good. Yep, we're good. Legs. Departure. We are departing on the EDDS 2H. So let's Stuttgart departure. Runway 7. TOS 2H. And we'll execute. And now we'll go to arrival. And we are arriving on the Space 2B on runway 7 left. ILS to 7 left. Space 2B. Oh, C and D are the only ones that are available, so let's go back. Space 2B. We don't have a Space 2B. Well, I don't know why, but we'll take Space 2C. And we will execute. Again, I think there might be a hiccup in the routing, so let's take a look at it. Out of the way here. Go into plan mode. Bring the range out a little bit. Departing runway 7 to the east. Step through our waypoints. And I think the problem comes right before the procedure. Yeah, these two segments don't line up. Or don't meet. Did I miss a discontinuity? I didn't even look for a discontinuity. Maybe there was one there. I didn't see it. Oh, vectors. I don't like vectors. Let's get rid of that. I mean, I don't mind vectors when they happen while flying, but I don't want to see a vector in my routing. Okay, step. This early part is fine. Actually, that whole routing is fine. Okay. Yeah, that whole... We're basically on a downwind, a base, and a final. That's fine. Let's get out of plan mode here. Leave the range as it is. That's fine. Let's do an annunciator light test. Check every bulb, every element. Sure we don't have any lights that are not functional. That all looks pretty good. We'll do a test of the lights, the autopilot lights on the captain's side. And we'll test them on the first officer's side. We can do a test of the fire detection system. We'll test the smoke detection system in the cargo hold. We'll test the, this is kind of hard to get to, over here. Test the landing gear deployed APU. The APU test. I saw the three triangles, and to me it looked like landing gear, but it's actually the APU. Okay, and I think finally we can do a systems test.
Flight slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Wonderful. I think we're ready for a checklist. Oh, look, before we do that, let's tell the cabin crew that they can start boarding the passengers. And let's now run a checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Voice recorder.
Is checked and on.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Oh, didn't test the oxygen. You caught me, Christy. You check yours on your side. I'll check mine on my side. Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Navigation and display switches.
Set and on.
Normal, auto. Window heat.
Window heat is on.
On. Pressurization mode selector.
Pressurization mode selector is to auto.
Auto. Flight instruments.
Flight instruments. We are at a heading of 341. We are at an altitude of 1120, and our pressure setting is at 1013 hectopascals.
Heading 341. Altitude 1124. Altimeter 1013. Parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Engine start levers.
Engine start levers are cut off.
Pre-flight checklist completed.
Wonderful. Let's fire up the APU. Position light on. Anti-collision light on. Fuel pump. Left fuel pump on.
Boarding is now complete. Flight attendants prepare the cabins. Verify arm door, standby for all call.
Okay, we just finished the boarding process. You can hear in the back. Before I actually do this, let's take a second out and say hi to the folks. Now that we have
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. We are getting ready to push past the gate here. However, we cannot do so while anybody's standing in the aisle. So we ask that you please take your seats at this time. Be sure to use really fast.
Good morning, folks, from the flight deck. Get your captain for the ride. It looks like it should be pretty good.
Once
So,
again, ladies and
planning on a
gentlemen, we
smooth
close
ride.
the main cabin
Get
doors.
you there as
We
soon
need
as
our
we can, and
customers
safe
to
as
be
safe as we
seatbelt
can. We'll
fastened,
talk to you
seatbelts and
once we get
tray tables
airborne.
full of
Welcome
right
over.
locked position. Luggage under the seat in front of you completely. Laptops and DVD players should be turned off, unplugged, and under the seat in front of you at this time. Smaller devices must be unplugged. They may remain on in airplane mode and must be secured. Flight attendants, please prepare doors for departure. Cross-check. Stand by for all call.
APU on. Watch the exhaust gas temperature gauge rise into its operational weight. Oh, we are. There it goes. This is the bus transfer unit, electrical bus. Right now we are on shore power. Right now we'll transfer the power onto the APU, and then later we'll transfer the power from the APU onto the engines. Once the exhaust gas temperature gauge lets us know it's in its operational range, we get a APU generator available light. Now we're on the APU. We can go off of shore power. And let's get our... I was going to say let's get our pushback plan. But we have been very negligent about talking to air traffic control. We don't ever want to avoid air traffic. Not talking to air traffic control.
Stuttgart information Oscar 1220 Zulu 500 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. 4,000 sky conditions 4,000 view. Temperature 24, dew point 15. Altimeter 3009. Arriving runway 07, departing runway 07. Advise on initial contact you have Oscar 1220 Zulu winds are light and variable. Visibility 6 miles. 4,600 view clouds. Temperature 27, dew point 16. Current QNH is 1018. Stuttgart information Oscar. Arriving and departing runway 500 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 4,000 view, temperature
I don't like the way EDDS gave us our altimeter setting in inches of mercury and not in hectopascals. We are in Europe and we should have gotten that in hectopascals, but we can survive. What I'll do is I'll flip the barometer into the inches of mercury, take down the setting, and then switch it back into hectopascals. I think he mentioned it was 30 something. We'll get that from him again. Stuttgart clearance delivery, Lufthansa 4-tree, ready to copy. Stuttgart clearance delivery, Lufthansa 4-tree, ready to copy. Stuttgart clearance delivery, Lufthansa 4-tree, ready to copy.
Lufthansa 43 is cleared to Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, fly the EDDS 2H departure, with the EDDS a transition, then is filed. Expect departure runway 07. Climb to flight level 050 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 4624.
Lufthansa 43 is cleared to Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. Fly the EDDS 2H departure, with the EDDS a transition, then as filed. Climb to flight level 050 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 4624.
Lufthansa 43 read back correct. QNH is 1018, contact ground on 118.6 when ready for pushback. Enjoy your morning.
QNH is 1018, ground on 118.6, Lufthansa 43.
Well, they corrected their mistake. They gave us our QNH in hectopascals. One 1018. Okay, are you set up on your side as well? You are. Okay. And we'll make sure that the standby altimeter, or standby attitude indicator is also showing 1018. Hectopascals, very good. And we need to that. That is correct. We'll move the transponder into the traffic advisory mode, not quite to the TARA mode until we're pushed from the gate. I'm going to turn on the microphone is set to the captain's side over here on the left. It should be set to the first officer's side on the right. VOR1 and VOR2 speakers are on. I also want to put on the speaker to NAV1 and the marker beacon. I really like listening to that marker beacon on the approach. We need a pushback clearance. Let's talk to control again. Stuttgart ground, Lufthansa 4-tree, request pushback and engine start. Stuttgart ground, Lufthansa 4-tree, request pushback and engine start. And pushback looks fine.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Stuttgart ground. Lufthansa 43 requests pushback and engine start.
Lufthansa 43 ready for pushback and engine start.
Lufthansa 43 pushback and engine start approved.
Pushback and engine start approved. Lufthansa 43.
We have our pushback clearance. I'm just going to hit the. I'm going to hit the parking brake very quickly, and that should disengage the jet bridge. Let the cabin crew, let the gate agents know that we don't need the jet bridge any longer. There it goes.
Ground to cockpit. Toes driving up.
Here comes our tow. Hey buddy, keep your speed down on the tarmac.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Parking brake is set. How the apparatus cradles that front carriage. And now rise, old Swami. He's going to lift the aircraft into the air. There it goes. Lift the aircraft up.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Ready for a checklist?
Before start checklist. Papers.
Papers are on board.
Flight deck door.
Flight deck door is closed and locked.
Closed and locked. Fuel.
Fuel is 6.2. She's turning on the pumps.
Pumps on. Passenger signs.
Passenger signs are on.
On. Window.
Windows are locked, closed and locked.
Locked. MCP.
MCP is 125 on the speed, 070 on the heading, and 5,000 on the altitude.
Speed 125. Heading 70. Altitude 5,000. Takeoff speeds.
Takeoff speeds are VR 115. I'm sorry. Yeah, VR is 115, V1 is 115, and V2 is 125.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
V1 115. V rotate 115. V2 125.
That's strange, the parking brake won't stay set.
CDU pre-flight.
CDU pre-flight is completed. This is a major
Completed.
problem. We need that parking brake to engage.
Rudder and aileron trim.
Rudder and aileron trim are free and zero.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Taxi and takeoff briefing are complete. Actually, they're not. Take care of that.
Anti-collision light.
Anti-collision light is on. I can't set the brake. This is
On.
not good.
Before start checklist completed.
Okay, I can't set the brake, which means I can't disengage the pushback. I'm not going to worry about it for right now. What I will do is get a taxi and takeoff brief done. We are departing runway 7. Okay, so here we are at the gate. Runway 7 is here, so just a quick turn to the left on India Kilo, and we'll be at the displaced threshold to runway 7. Not much to it. Let's talk about the departure out of Stuttgart. We are on the EDDS 2 hotel departure, VTOS to hotel. From runway 7, intercept the 072 radio off of the Stuttgart VOR to 5.6 DME to Stuttgart, then turn left, intercept the 152 radio off of the Lima Bravo Uniform VOR, inbound to Lima Bravo Uniform. Lima Bravo Uniform, radio 332 to ETSA, and ETSA is the end of the procedure. So basically runway heading, left turn to 332. I think there's a 230 knot speed limit right in here, to Luberg, and then continue on Luberg on the 332 to ETSA, and that is the end of the procedure. So we have had our taxi briefing, and we have had our departure briefing, and we're going to eliminate the pushback. It's not the best way to get rid of the pushback, but do what you gotta do, right? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Sorry. Stuttgart ground, Lufthansa 43, request taxi, runway 7. Stuttgart ground, Lufthansa 43, request taxi, runway 7. Stuttgart ground, Lufthansa 43, ready for taxi, runway 7.
Lufthansa 43 request taxi to runway 07.
Lufthansa 43 taxi to runway 07 via taxiways Kilo, hold short runway 07.
Taxi to runway 07 via taxiways Kilo, hold short runway 07 Lufthansa 43.
We are clear on the left, clear on the right. The brake is already released, so we'll
Reverse unlock.
We'll do a brake check. Oh my goodness, it would be good if we started engines. How embarrassing. Let's go to dual bleed. Packs are off. Bleed pressure is rising. I'm going to turn the hydraulics on. I'm going to turn the pitot static probe heat on. We have bleed air pressure for the engines. We're selected to engine number 2. I'm going to go to ground on engine number 2. Watch the N2 level rise to 25%. Now I can put on the brake. There's 25%. Fuel on engine number 2. Low oil pressure light should de-illuminate here soon. There it goes. Start valve should close. There it goes. Let's go to engine number 1, the ground. N2 is rising. Let's introduce fuel to number 1. Low oil pressure light should extinguish. Start valve should close. Let's turn the transponder to the TARA mode. We will move the EFIS, lower EFIS screen to the systems button, and let's do a flight control check. Elevator down, neutral. Elevator up, neutral. Ailerons to the right, neutral. Ailerons to the left, neutral. Right rudder. Oh, rudder's not indicating. Okay, well, the rudder is working. Why is the rudder not indicating? Well, my alternate rudder is working, so we can go. We'll figure out the problem. We do have a problem, but we'll figure it out later. Flight control check is fine. We have our taxi clearance. Let's taxi. Break off. Just a little bit of throttle. Brake check. Brakes are fine.
Taxi lights on. Horizontal stabilizer trimmer not set for takeoff.
Oh, that's not good. Takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist.
This checklist cannot be performed on the ground.
Oh, before takeoff checklist.
This checklist cannot be performed on the ground.
Well, that's silly. It's before takeoff checklist. before taxi checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
There we go. Before takeoff checklist.
Flaps.
Flaps need to be set. They are not. Set to 10.
not set for takeoff position.
Nope. Where do they set at?
Before takeoff checklist is not completed.
Okay. Yeah, I believe they are. It just hasn't quite made it there yet. So you can see the flap needle is moving. Oh, no, it's set to 5. That's right. Okay, we'll get it set to 10. Kind of hard to see from over here. There's 10.
Flaps 10 set. Before taxi checklist. Generators.
Oh, generators. Let's go on to the engines. Turn the APU off.
On. Probe heat.
Probe heat is on.
On. Anti-ice.
Anti-ice is off.
Wing anti-ice off. Engine anti-ice off. Isolation valve.
Isolation valve needs to be on.
Auto.
We can go off of dual bleed.
Engine
Packs
start
on.
switches.
Engine start switches need to be in continuous.
Continuous. Recall.
Recall is checked.
Checked. Auto brake.
Auto brake is to RTO.
Rejected takeoff. Engine start levers.
Engine start levers are idle detent.
Flight control.
Flight control has been checked.
Checked. Flaps.
Flaps are 10.
Flaps 10 set. Green light. Detent. Ground equipment.
Ground equipment is clear.
Clear. Before taxi checklist completed. Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Flaps are 10.
Flaps 10 set. Green light. Detent. Stabilizer trim.
Stabilizer trim is 4.0.
40 units set.
Oh, good. She's picky about that.
Transponder.
Transponder is the TARA.
TARA set. Before takeoff checklist completed.
Okay. Just had to get my bearings a little bit. sharper than this. I don't really mean to taxi into the grass.
Lufthansa 43 contact tower on 118.8. Have a nice flight.
Tower on 118.8 Lufthansa 43.
Lufthansa Tower, Stuttgart Tower, Lufthansa 43, ready for departure, runway 7.
Lufthansa 43 wings are variable cleared for takeoff, runway 07.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 07 Lufthansa 43.
Well, we have a takeoff clearance.
Climb and maintain flight level 120 Lufthansa 43.
We have a takeoff clearance, we just have a hard time getting lined up for takeoff. Arm the auto throttle, runway turn off lights on, takeoff lights on, engines to continuous. Let's get ourselves sort of on the runway, and then we'll take off. I'm sure it'll be better in the air. That's good enough for me. We're close.
Takeoff thrust set.
Toga mode. So even though we're in toga mode, because we set a D-rated takeoff, the engines won't go to full power. They do that for noise abatement and to increase engine life. It's the whole purpose for having a D-rated takeoff. Positive rate. Gear up. We're on autopilot. Flaps up.
1,000.
Lufthansa 43 contact Stuttgart radar directed on 119.8.
Radar director on 119.85 Lufthansa 43. Radar director Lufthansa 43.
Flaps 2 set.
Flight level 120.
Lufthansa 43 radar contact.
Traffic. Clear
Flaps
of
upset.
Why are the flaps upset? The flaps don't have a reason to be upset about anything. I do not want to have upset flaps on my aircraft. Flaps upset.
Approaching transition. 1,000 to level off.
1,000 to go.
Lufthansa 43. and maintain flight level 120 Lufthansa 43.
Danza con PHP 9 distancia 200.
Transition altitude.
Transition altitude. Let's do an after takeoff climb checklist.
Wilton Lufthansa 43.
After takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds.
Engine bleeds are off.
On. Packs.
Packs are on.
Auto. Landing gear.
Landing gear is up and off.
Danza con flight maintain flight level 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 180 Lufthansa 43.
Above 10,000 feet, landing lights become off. Thank you, Christine. Coming up on Limo Bravo uniform, that's the end of our departure procedure.
Danza con flight maintain flight level 240.
Climb and maintain flight level 240 Lufthansa 43.
We're not going to have much time until the descent, so I'm going to set up the arrival. We're going to verify the landing configuration. 40 degrees of flaps at 118 knots. ILS is 110.3 on a course of 067.
Danza con flight 70.6.
Center on 127.6 take care Lufthansa 43. Center Lufthansa 43 climbing to flight level 240.
Delta 43, good morning. Radar contact.
for ILS approach to runway 07 center after Peaks cleared direct Swisser Lufthansa 43.
To level off.
1,000 to go.
like we are anticipating on-time arrival. You're going to head and turn off the seatbelts this time. Just remember, if you are in your seats, keep your seatbelts fastened in case we do experience any unexpected turbulence. Enjoy the flight, and if there's anything we can do to make your ride, to let a member of the crew know.
approach on 136.12 Lufthansa 43. Approach Lufthansa 43 at flight level 240.
Lufthansa 43 good morning. Radar contact.
Frankfurt approach, Lufthansa 43, request flight level 080.
Lufthansa 43 descent via the space 2 arrival with the space a transition to 4000 feet to NH is 1017 at Frankfurt 9.
Descent via the Speed 2C arrival with the space a transition to 4000 feet QNH is 1017 Lufthansa 43.
Sounds good. Be back for our arrival. If you're up and about, please turn to and turn your seats, fasten your seatbelts. Still showing well ahead of schedule. Thanks again. Hope you have a nice week. Have you on air very shortly.
Checklist. Pressurization.
Set. About 300.
Landing altitude not set for landing.
It is set for landing, you dog.
Descent checklist is not completed.
The altitude is 347. It's set for 350. That's about as good as you can get. How about if we do that? Be happy.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
Set.
Landing altitude not set for landing. Descent checklist is not completed.
I think we're okay. I'll try it one more time.
Descent checklist. Pressurization. altitude not set for landing.
Really don't like that, do ya?
Descent checklist is not completed.
The altitude in Frankfurt is 347 feet.
Descent checklist. Pressurization. Landing altitude not set for landing. Descent checklist is not completed.
We won't do the descent checklist, then we'll do the approach checklist. You're not getting out of doing a checklist just because of that.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
Altimeters are at, I don't know, standard right now.
Sir, you have a standard Vero set.
Yes, I do. So do you. We're not below
Approach
5,000.
checklist is not completed.
Okay, I'll hold off until we're at 5,000 feet. There you can see the Frankfurt Airport just ahead of us. Nice clear day. lost 10,000 feet. Christy turned on the landing lights.
Transition.
Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for landing.
Transition level.
Increase climb. Increase climb. Climb. Climb.
Whoa!
Increase climb. Increase climb.
That's something you don't see every day.
Descend now. Clear of front.
Wow! That's some interesting traffic. Okay, we are below transition level. Switch.
1,000 to level off.
1,000 to go.
Let's do that checklist, Christine. The one you've been avoiding.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
Altimeters are set.
QNH 1012 set. Altitude passing 4016 now. Approach checklist completed.
Picked up the ILS frequency. You can see we've leveled at 4,000 feet and we are descending into the range of the glide slope. The computer determined descent rate. Let's go to speed brakes are armed. Let's go to maximum brakes on the auto brakes. Right now we have a quartering tailwind, mostly from the left, very little on the quartering tail. It's only 6 knots, so we're going to have a slight quartering headwind on the right at 6 knots on landing, but mostly it'll be a crosswind. But only 6 knots. Our trusty steed can handle 6 knots. Let's go to 190 on the speed and first notch of flaps.
Flaps 1 set.
Miles and we'll be turning base.
Lufthansa 4 return right heading 044 vectors to the EDDS approach for runway 07 center at Frankfurt main maintain 4,000 feet.
Heading 044 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 07 center maintain 4,000 feet Lufthansa 4.
Okay, we're getting vectors. 044 on the heading. So the controller is having us turn slightly before we were expected to turn. Let's go to speed 170 and 2 on the flaps.
set.
$160 and 3 on the flaps.
Flaps 5 set.
$150 and 4 on the flaps.
Flaps 10 set.
140 and 5 on the flaps.
Flaps 15 set.
Lufthansa Foul Fritter right heading 059.
Heading 059 Lufthansa 43.
On the flaps.
Flaps 25 set.
$135 and 7 on the flaps.
Flaps 30 set.
We're catching our ILS frequency again. I believe the reference speed is 118, am I correct? Yes, 118. Oops, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
1000 to level off.
Yeah, I totally blew that. I don't remember what that setting was. I think it was 1017. It doesn't really matter once we pick up the needles. localizer just to make sure. See what hers is set at. Hers is set the same. I myself would prefer our plane to be shifted over to the left so we're on a straight in course to the runway, but we're following vectors.
Lufthansa Fold Feeder left heading 044.
Oh, there we go.
Heading 044 Lufthansa 43.
He's putting us back.
Lufthansa Fold 3 cleared for ELS approach to runway 07 center fly heading 041 to intercept final.
Cleared for ILS approach to runway 07 center fly heading 041 Lufthansa 43.
Okay, we've given
Lufthansa Fold 3
permission.
heading 041.
We've given permission to intercept the course, so I'm going to go to VOR lock and approach. I'm going to arm the second autopilot. We have the glide slope in range.
Lufthansa Fold 3 QNH 1017 at Frankfurt, my contact tower on 118.77. Enjoy your morning.
QNH is 1017 tower on 118.77 Lufthansa 43.
1017, I guessed correctly. And localizer is coming alive.
Tower Lufthansa 43 inbound.
Localizer
ILS
capture.
approach runway 07 center.
Lufthansa 43, good morning. Radar contact. Continue ELS to runway 07 center call when established on final.
Continue ILS to runway 07 center will call when established on final Lufthansa 43.
Frankfurt Tower, Lufthansa 43 on final. Frankfurt Tower, Lufthansa 43 on final.
Lufthansa 43 ins are light and variable cleared to land runway 07 center.
Cleared to land runway 07 center Lufthansa 43.
Well, we were cleared to land on 27 center, but the problem is my landing system, my flight plan has us on 27 left. So I hate to buck the instruction, but I'm going to land on 27 left. Ha ha ha! Oh, I'm such a rebel. Say it ain't so. You know, there is a way of requesting a different runway.
Lufthansa 43 request arrival runway 25 left.
Lufthansa France re-expect the ELS approach to runway 07 center at Frankfurt Main.
Expect the ILS approach to runway 07 center Lufthansa 43.
She really wants us on that center runway. You know, that center runway looks a lot longer. Maybe it would have been better to follow her advice.
Glide slope capture.
Glide slope capture.
2500.
Radar altimeter is alive. Full flaps, gear down.
Down. After takeoff checklist is not completed.
Yes, I know it's not. You're worried about the after takeoff checklist? My goodness. That was quite a while ago. Speed down to 118. Full flaps.
Flaps 40 set.
You could do a landing checklist. I wouldn't mind that.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
Engine start switches are continuous.
Speed brake.
Speed brake is armed.
Speed brake is not armed.
Yeah, speed brake is armed.
Landing checklist is not completed.
Oh, come on. Okay, well, there we go.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches
are continuous.
Speed brake.
Speed brake is armed. I'm going to take a picture.
Landing gear.
Landing gear is down.
Flaps.
Flaps are flaps 40.
Landing checklist completed.
Okay. We have VR lock, we have glide slope, we're looking for a flare, we're looking for an auto land.
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Taxi lights on. Well, we didn't get a full auto land. We'll get close.
Oh, look at the train passing
500.
passing right below us. That train is kind of cool. When I think of Germany, I think of trains.
300. 200.
Continue. Autopilot off.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Kind of lost the center line.
Lufthansa France re-exit runway when able. We advise you right head landing on the wrong
80
runway.
knots. Throttle hold. V1. Rotate. Speed brake up. Auto brake in use.
80 knots.
60 knots. Oh no. Landing was not very good this time.
Yeah, landing was not very good this time. And because my taxi is terrible, I'm going to end the video. Yeah, I can't taxi to save my life. So I'm going to end the video before I terribly crash into something. Folks, have a great day. Bye.